वेलकम टू द प्रोग्राम।
थैंक
यू जी। सो बात करते हैं इस हफ्ते, आप ये बताइए कि जब सेल्फ इस्टीम की बात करते हैं, स्वाभिमान, हर एक व्यक्ति में उसका सेल्फ इस्टीम होता है, या लो या हाई होता है। सो बेसिकली हाउ टू मेक, स्पेशली फॉर द यूथ, व्हेन वी इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड वी फाइंड दैट आवर यूथ इज नॉट हैविंग दैट हाई सेल्फ इस्टीम. They get distracted by things, they get distracted to negativity, and there's so much negativity all around us. It becomes many times difficult to bring the youth back and make the self-esteem stronger. So what do you have to say with your experience?
I think for each of us, all of us, we are the sum total of the 5 people closest to us. I heard this many years back, and it stayed with me.
Okay.
The people who are closest to us impact us the most. So we want to make sure we have positive, happy people around us who make us feel good about ourselves. What happens with youth is, in the desire sometimes to make friends, we allow ourselves to be swayed by what our friends think is cool, what our friends think is good, and we allow ourselves to get into trouble, not with our parents. Some youth even get into trouble with the law.
Right.
The fact is that if true friends do not want you to do things that affect your health. They do not want you to have a bad reputation. They don't want you to do things on Facebook. They don't want you to bully others. True friends don't want that for you.
Right.
So it's very important for the youth to identify true friends.
Right.
Right? Who are supporting them, who really have their best at heart.
Right.
That makes a big difference.
Okay.
I also think one really practical thing I always recommend to any youth is that it's so important to keep a journal.
Okay.
Just write down your thoughts, right? All of us have negative influences. And when we are not able to channelize this negativity within us, it manifests into actions and behavior that are not going to be positive. So we want to kill those thoughts at the thought level. We want to release them. So when we start writing that, we park them in a journal, we feel clear, we feel better and more balanced, and then we will not take that negative energy into our interactions with other people. So that's one very important practical step to take.
So many times we find that by doing negative things, the youngsters feel that their self-esteem has gone high, and probably that is the reason that what we find, the involvement in gangs or going into drugs. So that is one of the reasons which while interacting with some of these youngsters I have found out. So they say that we find that our esteem, because we are at the top of the world, we feel cool. These are the words which are used by them. So self-esteem, to be momentarily happy or to be in that cool state, what do you say about that?
Short fixes. Very short fixes, very short term.
Right.
And it's not going to take you very far. So if that is your focus, then there has to be some self-motivation to change.
Right.
If that is going to be their focus, there's, even as a parent or as a teacher, there's only so much you can do, right? The youth has to have some measure of self-motivation to feel good about themselves, to do the right thing, to become something. And I find that youth who have a goal, right, when they have something that drives them, that passion, it may be a basketball game, I'm part of the school basketball team, and that really gives me a high. Then you're not seeking high from the other things because your basketball game is giving you a high. You no longer need drugs or any of those other things to give you that artificial high.
Right.
So it's so important to channelize their energies for them to find out what, for themselves, what drives me, what gives me that same high that is now not going to have a negative impact on my life. There are many other such things that can give you that can give you the same feelings.
Right. So when you talk about self-motivation, for that, what do you recommend? Because self-motivation comes if you are passionate about something. But how to find out that you are passionate about something? Are there some practical steps which you can tell us that youngsters can take so that they come to understand, yes, we are passionate about something and we want to do that, so that their self-esteem also remains stronger?
Yes, I think it's important to indulge in different activities, and of course sometimes you need the parents to be involved.
Right.
But until and unless you've tried several different things, you will not know that this is the one thing that makes my heart sing. This is the one thing that excites me, and this is what I want to do for the for the next 5 years. It may not be for a lifetime. So you need to try different things, and not all of them are expensive. It's not like you have to spend a lot of money to go to the community center. There are so many activities being offered that we can take part in without too much of a cost and have fun, good, clean fun.
Right. peer pressure is an important aspect of a youngster's life, what they find around themselves, whom they hang around. As you have mentioned, true friends are those who are going to take you on the right path. But again, it's very difficult to find such kind of youngsters. But nevertheless, of course, exceptions are always there. But what I mean to say is, when we talk about peer pressure, it's so much that even if you don't want to do something, you are compelled to do something. And there is the time when your self-esteem is going to play a very important role. It's going to take you somewhere or put you down. So at that time, how can that, if there's an urge to go to the negativity or the wrong side, which one knows, but despite knowing that, because the peers are doing it, you also do it, what to do at that time?
At that particular moment, if you have not worked on it for the past several months,
right,
there's not much you're going to be able to do, right? If you are weak, you're weak.
Right.
You have to build up your strength, your inner strength, your courage to deal with that moment when it actually happens. And I think lots of time when we're yielding to peer pressure, it's because we want to be acknowledged.
Right.
We want to be part of them. We want to feel that, you know, all of them are doing this and it's cool. I want to be part of that whole cool activity.
Right.
But when I identify that being cool does not mean that I have to do what everybody else is doing, I can also be cool in my unique way.
Right.
That's when you can make that shift. That's when you can stand up for yourself.
Right.
And that's what this whole point is.
Right.
The courage to walk away and say, I'm sorry, I don't think what you're asking me to do feels right for me. It feels true for me. Right? So we have to be kind to ourselves first,
right,
before being kind to our friends.
Absolutely,
Right.
and that is only possible if you are strongly ingrained with your values and your beliefs, and that is, it is not just a one-day affair. It has to be
Yes.
pumped in again and again so that it becomes your foundation. Thank you very much for this perspective.